Hey guys, today we're gonna be doing a Roblox gameplay. Oh shit.
Alright, and welcome back to your favorite show on the planet. Today we have kidnapped a new guest and we have brought him into the studio to share with you all the wonders of, I don't know, whatever he does. Alright, take it away.
Yeah, hi everyone. Greetings. Welcome back to Permanent Detour. I have been kidnapped from my tavern. I'm back on rent payments, and AJ and Brendan are here to help sort me out today. So thank you very much for getting me here safely.
We are very friendly landlords. So.
Yeah.
Debtors.
Yeah, it's
After buying Slugger's channel, we decided to purchase this guy's channel. So
yeah.
Starting a
welcome to
monopoly.
our new media empire.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm excited to join Slugger and Matt Damon and Lewis and everybody else on the team. I think we're really going to be able to make something great here, and that is why I am announcing my retirement from LEGO YouTube for the whole 1 year that I was doing it.
Yeah, woohoo!
Yeah,
Lego, everyone loves
yeah,
Lego.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody likes Lego. At least everybody that is.
Actually, I don't think I've ever seen a negative Lego YouTube video ever.
No,
Never
no.
once.
No, never heard of anybody who said anything bad about them. So yeah, I guess just to quickly hype myself up, my name is Brick and Lantern. I do a lot of vintage castle YouTubing stuff, making lots of different videos with my little avatar myself, and kind of just talking about Lego Castle and why Lego Castle is better than Lego Star Wars and all of that great stuff, and kind of like adding a little bit of a cozy tavern-ish fantasy spin on what a lot of us all love and compulsively spend money on.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just start with that. I'm a little more interested in the theming of your channel.
Yeah.
So is it more like is this character like the character in the videos, is that more of an extension of you, or is it like its own character?
So that is really an extension of me. Originally in the early part of the videos, I don't really have that little guy. But between watching some different creators, Robrick really he's a British person, Lego person, makes videos like that, and he has this little figure, Sigfig, and I was kind of like, okay, well, this is interesting. It gives me like a way to kind of step into what I'm actually talking about instead of being like a third person observer. So that was really where that figure came from, and he's kind of an extension of myself, and what I feel like, and he gets into a little bit more trouble than me. So
Well, I mean, there's definitely, I think it's very common on YouTube to have like a personality kind of take centerfold, because that's just honestly how all entertainment works.
Yeah.
It's just like people like seeing a performer, entertainer be
definitely.
like the spokesperson.
Yeah.
definitely,
And with the position that you're in on
Mm-hmm.
what you make, you can't really step in front of the camera and
no.
fit into what you're talking about, so it makes sense to have an extension of yourself that can.
Yeah, definitely, and I just think it's fun. You get to play with that kind of in the videos, and like writing jokes about like, oh, I did like a food one really recently, and so there was a couple of jokes in there about like eating different foods and just being like, everybody has to eat, but it's like, no, you're a little Lego figure. You would never have to eat. Like, this is just for kind of weird. Like it's fun to take that idea and like push that out. So there's the next video that's coming is related to me being in tremendous amounts of debt to some very nasty people. So that is kind of like
Yeah, definitely not us though.
No.
He's
Yeah,
not.
it's
talking
not.
about
He's
us.
not talking about us.
No. These
but I have to
guys got
say-
to me first.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. We'll be paying them a visit. So don't
Thank
worry.
you. Thank you.
All right, but I have to say I did watch your food video, and I had to say I'm very disappointed you didn't eat any of the Legos. So
Yeah,
I'd like to give it a 0 star.
Yeah.
That's my bad, guys. I will do a Lego mukbang at some point. Is
Yes.
that right?
So Brick, one of the points you made that I'm a little unclear on, the Lego figures don't need to eat? Have I been feeding them incorrectly? Am I overfeeding my Legos?
Yeah. You'll actually see that's why their leg joints are all snapping. Like, AJ, if you look down at your figures, you'll see all the leg joints have snapped off. That's because you're overfeeding them. And if you
Oh my God, I've been giving them that plastic food every day. I think they need it.
Oh, I thought that's because I ripped them apart. But you're right.
And if you actually put their hair pieces in your mouth and chew on them for too long, those also crack. So just be careful there. Your Cloud City Boba Fett. That's
So don't overfeed the Legos, but also don't eat the hair.
No.
Actually, my Cloud City Boba Fett that I definitely have is now worthless because they released him. They released the same version of him updated in the $15 mech.
Yeah, they did.
What a steal,
I love that.
too.
I love that. That is, if we're talking about like,
I love it too because people were actually getting mad about it. Like, my Cloud City Boba Fett's worthless. I'm like, it's not though.
You are a toy.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, wait a minute.
Exactly right. Like, hold on, let's take a step back.
It's almost like it's not the same figure. Like, yeah, they both have the arm printing, but like, okay.
It doesn't matter. I mean, then
even what? Let's say their old figures worth goes down like $100. It's still worth like thousands of dollars.
Well, my thought on it too is I just want to take as much money out of the hands of Lego investors as possible. I have a Grand Admiral Thrawn figure from Star Wars because he's one of my favorite characters. But I bought him and he's fake, and I know that, and he looks fun, and I'm happy with him being fake because that means that I didn't, pay $180 for some Lego investor to take that and spend it on something else or whatever, buy their third house. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? If there's a figure that's gonna look good and it's fake, I'll buy it. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the custom market has exploded recently, especially with the pad printing. Like, now that like not just Lego has access to pad printing, it's definitely interesting. And I know some people will always be purists and will never accept anything that's not Lego, which is fine. Like that can be its own niche part of the market.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I'm not super familiar with the whole custom market because I've never bought a custom figure before, but I find the whole thing fascinating. To be honest.
What little I'm familiar with is kind of just the same thing as you. Is like they're doing for Star Wars heads like Zam Wessel, who only came in one set ever. There's been a big Zam Wessel, all the custom clones. Like when you get a good custom figure, they're pretty nice, and honestly, compared to like what the genuine ones are priced, they're decently affordable comparatively. And again, anything to take the money out of the hands of people who buy these things and don't play with them or do anything with them. Just keep them in a box and hold on to them.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
So back to your wrong opinions. Let's direct back into that real quick.
Let's wade right into it. Okay.
So yeah, obviously Lego Star Wars is. Yep. I know we talked about this in previous episodes. It is the thing you cannot escape when you're talking about Lego.
No.
It is there. It is always present. It's the biggest. All the biggest Lego channels are Lego Star Wars channels. It's the theme that makes the most money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know a lot of non-Lego Star Wars fans don't like that, and I could totally understand that.
Yep.
It is like it's like an inevitable. It's just inevitable that we're going to talk about that.
It is, and it's great and terrible. And I say it as like in size.
That's how I would describe it.
Yeah.
And since me and Brendan are both Lego Star Wars collectors. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems to me that you have some, but I don't know the extent of your collection. So let's get your opinion on it.
So I'll provide a little bit of context because context is really critical. When I got back into Lego, Lego Star Wars was obviously the first thing I was buying. It was what I had the most nostalgia for, etc., so on and so forth. I mean, when I was younger, like Lego Star Wars was my life. I had so many sets, and really loved them to death. Love those things to death. So, getting back in 2020, there's some nice sets, and I'm enjoying it and going back and kind of, as time went on, it was kind of like it was just like this weird relationship where I would go and buy, like I did May 4th 2 years ago, so 2021. I did May 4th, and that was great because like 2021 May 4th, you had the new Clone Wars sets, you had a couple sequel sets, but a couple OT sets because you always have original trilogy sets. But like those Clone Wars sets are great, and I still have some of them. Like I have the Ahsoka versus Maul battle. I still have some of that stuff. It's not to say that I've disinvested, entirely. But just like, I guess over time I started to realize, oh man, these are not the same sets. Well, these are in some cases the same sets that have been coming out for years. Like the TIE Fighter, since for the last several years, has just been like a TIE Fighter, and it's great because I didn't have a TIE Fighter, so I got one and kind of was like, oh, okay. It's just like gray TIE Fighter, X-Wing, gray TIE Fighter, like over and over and over again. I mean, heck, I'm sure you guys can say this, that they just literally are re-releasing like Yoda's Starship, verbatim, the one that they released, I think 4 or 5 years ago. Like that's new, that's coming back out.
Yeah, it looks great. I saw it at Barnes & Noble.
Yep. Especially since it's $5 more expensive than Obi-Wan's fighter, and Obi-Wan's fighter came with an exclusive figure, and this one doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one comes with the Yoda's
This one comes with Yoda. Dude, this is what I'm saying. If they had just dropped, like, Darth Bane into the set, who's in the scene in Clone Wars, or even just, like, Sith Yoda, one of those two, it would have been a great set.
Yeah, and I just think it comes back to, like, because Star Wars is so big, and because they've been paying for that license for so many years, they have to really hedge their bets on safe sets. And I want, like, my favorite Lego Star Wars sets are, like, the TIE Crawler and, like, the TIE Defender.
Oh, I have that one.
You do? Oh, that's so cool.
Dude, it's not together right now, but yeah, that was one of the
pieces.
That was one of the earliest ones that I got when I was younger, was the TIE Crawler. That thing was insane.
Yeah, but it's just like this. It's just like a weird, unique set, and it was from Legends, and it's kind of like a funny thing, and it's like if you're familiar with the Kenner Star Wars toys at all, like they just made stuff.
Yep.
They just made stuff, right? And so it's kind of like
and Star Wars used to do that.
Yeah, I just want them to
or Lego.
I want Lego to like just make random whatever. And I know it's not going to sell, and that's why they don't do it, but it's also like, it would be nice to just have like a bunch of stormtrooper, like just a bunch of stormtroopers and like some kind of vehicle, and kind of, it just seems like now they're very hesitant to include a good amount of figures in sets, and that's another thing, because I've been collecting the dual moded stormtroopers because I want to do like an army mock or something, with them, but it's so hard to get them now, and even now, like,
they don't come in that many sets.
No.
Yeah, it was pretty easy when that 20th anniversary Han Solo little drop ship thing came out.
Yeah, and it's like those sets when I can get them are great. And I'm really glad for all the prequels fans, because they are like, you guys are eating good right now. But for me, it's like OT, I'm just waiting for like a Rebel battle pack or a something like that. And the Hoth stuff has been nice, but it's just the same. You get through like the same 5 things over and over and over again, and it's kind of like, okay,
just buy the Yavin base.
Yeah. Well, the Yavin base is super cool. But again, it's like also the price point is a little out of hand.
I disagree. I don't think they have them. I think the figure selection is top tier. However, the price is bad, and I think someone described it to me as just a big 4+ set.
Yeah,
is what it looks like.
Yeah, and I guess
the build. I don't think the build is good at all. They should have just made it like the Cantina and done like a $400 one to make it the full base, and it would have been way better.
I guess it was because that Yavin set they've been trying to, like, we've seen photos of that Yavin set from the 2000s, like early 2000s. Yeah. So I was really surprised when they actually were like, okay, we're gonna make this, and that's cool. And it's like, if I were a big Star Wars guy right now, when I get back into my Star Wars phase at some point in the future, I'm gonna be like, I wish I'd bought this, because it's just cool to finally have seen that like little piece of trivia get out there.
Yeah, I think when we're talking about Star Wars as a whole, the one set I want to bring up was the tan snowspeeder, like it was like for the desert. That was so cool.
Oh yeah,
it's just like. You don't get stuff like that anymore.
No.
I think the 2 problems with Star Wars right now is that it's just like a quantity thing where like they do. Well, it used to be just January and August, but now it's like January, August, May, March, September.
Yeah.
Like now it's like almost every other month has a Star Wars wave.
Yeah.
It's still like the same number of sets. They're just spreading it out more.
Yeah.
But still, like, the number of sets is insane as compared to any other theme, really, except maybe you could argue City or something. Maybe City has a comparable number. But yeah, it's still like...
I remember looking...
There's just so many sets that they inevitably just do the same ones.
Yeah, and I remember looking up the numbers for this, because I cited, I think, in, like, one of my Castle video of, like, the Dark Age of Lego 2000, whatever. They produced, I think it was like 30 or 40 sets over the span of 2 years. They're different sets. And meanwhile, like, the original themes, like, have been kind of left to languish. And that's something that I really lament, is, like, I, in case you couldn't tell, really love it when people take a swing. And I think that Dreams is something that interests me because it's they're taking a swing, you know? At least they're trying something. And it looks cool, and it's vibrant, and it's different, and it's not dark bluish gray Star Wars again. Because that's the only thing that, like, there really is right now, if we're being honest, is, like, what you know, you have Ninjago that's been going for 10 years, over 10 years now. City, a ton of licensed sets that, if you don't really care about a license, you know, you're not really going to be catered to. It's kind of like they've settled into, and AJ, I'm sure you could...
How dare you forget Lego Friends like that?
Yeah, well,
How dare
Friends,
you?
Friends is cool. Friends is cool. Elves is cool. I don't really build that stuff, but you know what? Like, it's catering to somebody. And it's like, oh, you don't like Star Wars, you don't like Marvel, you're not into DC, like, sucks to be you. You're not into Lightyear.
DC doesn't get any sets.
Yeah.
They don't get any sets. They get one Batman set a year, and they're like, all right, good enough.
Yeah, and I guess
shut up and eat your garbage.
We're all coming from this at like an you know, an adult perspective, where if a kid gets a Batman, I think, like, they would be pretty happy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it's just like some of those things where I'm like, I think that the old ways might have been better. Like, I think they might have had a couple of ideas there that were good. Yeah. So if we can, like, keep going with, you know, whatever. But I think at the end of the day, the originality is what's going to thrive, especially when you look at the state of Star Wars right now.
I think the other thing about Star Wars that kind of doesn't help the Lego aspect is the fact that the Star Wars outside of Lego is, like, not in the greatest state.
Yeah.
Ahsoka aside, because that's been doing even... Oh, actually, I guess we don't know the viewing figures for Ahsoka quite yet, but, like, I can't imagine it's better than what The Mandalorian was. Even though Ahsoka's a very popular, well-known character, it's not like it's, like, the Darth Vader show or the Luke Skywalker. I mean, like, the Obi-Wan show I know did very well, but that was also off the back of Obi-Wan. I'm pretty sure every other show after Mandalorian Season 2 has just not been doing that good. And the shows are getting kind of bad in quality, and the market's just oversaturated. Again, there's exceptions. You know, Andor was good and stuff. Like, you know, like, they had Star Wars Visions, we had Bad Batch Season 2. You know?
Yeah, I think
there's just been so much stuff, and they keep making stuff based off these shows, and then it's like, well, how many people actually saw that show? So are they going to buy they made one Andor set. How many people bought that? No one bought the Andor set.
I like that set. Like, I just wish it was cheaper.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the set wasn't even that bad, but it's like they made one, and it wasn't even the coolest part of the show. Like, there was a lot cooler stuff in the show they could have made a set.
Yeah, and why are you making a set for Andor, right? Like, kids aren't probably going to... Andor is not an action-adventure show.
Yeah, they should have made it an 18+ set of anything.
Yeah, or
but
just
the problem is Disney only gives them the first couple of episodes to work with, so anything that's like episode 3 or beyond, like, Lego doesn't get that information and can't even make sets based off of those episodes. And there's no Star Wars movies. I know they have plans. They just announced a couple of them, but I forgot there's some other YouTuber I was watching who goes, I don't even get excited for Star Wars projects anymore because they all get canceled. Like Taika Waititi's movie, what happened to that?
Yeah.
What happened? We all know the Rogue Squadron already got canceled. Rian Johnson was supposed to have a trilogy. Not saying he should get a trilogy, but, like, where did it go? Like, what happened to it? Like, it's just gone, basically. It's on indefinite leave. And so what are the chances we actually get the Rey movie or the...
Yeah.
Was it James Mangold supposed to do that, like, first ever Jedi movie? But after the
that's
disaster
right.
of Indiana Jones 5, is he going to get that movie? We don't know.
Yeah, I feel
we just
like...
We honestly don't know.
I'm just, you really hit to the core of that. Is like, you just named a whole bunch of things. I really kind of fell off the Star Wars train because there was just so much. Like, there's just so much coming. I was joking with my partner the other day. I was like, hey, let's watch Ahsoka. You'll have to do all this homework. Like, oh, you're not gonna understand because you didn't watch Clone Wars, Rebels, Mandalorian. Maybe there was like a book or two that you have to read. Like, it's just the amount of homework that you have to do now to stay up to date. It's like it's work. Like, no, I don't want to watch Mandalorian season 3. No, I don't want to watch Bad Batch season 2. But if I want to watch something else in the future, I've got to like stumble through those things. It's just tiring. It's just very.
I blame Marvel wholeheartedly.
I totally
they
agree.
created the whole cinematic universe trend.
It's like Disney saw how successful that was, and they're like, all right, let's do that with Star Wars. But it's like, I genuinely think that they're just different properties. Like, Marvel in and of itself, as being made from comic books and just having way more heroes and individual stories, lends itself more to that approach, even though I still think Marvel's oversaturated itself.
Yeah, and everything has its. I think everything has its shelf date, and that's
true. But Star Wars is a more continuous
Star Wars
story.
has
Like, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, Star Wars has a lot more breadth, or like you can do a lot more with that because you can do anything with it. Like, we saw that, and I loved Vision Season 1 because they just did. You just hand it off to somebody and you just let them do whatever they like. And it's like, oh, these beautiful, short little stories that I don't have to worry about XYZ person coming back. That was the best part. Is like, oh, I'm not going to see them ever again. And that's nice.
It's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention the fandom is like so divided. No one can agree on what they want now. We've gotten like, everyone was so excited back when The Force Awakens came out. It's like, well, everyone was like in line, like, yeah, new Star Wars trilogy. We're all on board for that.
Yep.
But then after how much of a disaster that was,
I feel like
no one knows what they want.
You speak again to like, to kind of wrap the bow, I guess, on this. You speak again to like selection and choice because we never I didn't see Revenge of the Sith in theaters, right? Like I was a little too young. I grew up with Star Wars, but I wasn't that. I was at least 20. I was very mature for my age. But anyway, I didn't see that, so it was cool to like be able to, right when I was the prime age, Star Wars trilogy came out, and I was like, cool, this is ours. And now it's like there's so much Star Wars, it's not special anymore. It's just kind of like, oh, there's a new Star Wars thing coming, maybe I'll watch it, maybe I won't. That's how I feel with everything now, because it's like there's just so much.
That's what I did with Marvel. Like, after Guardians 3, I have no interest in Marvel anymore.
You hung on for a while.
I was happy to see Guardians get not even, I was kind of falling off before that, but Guardians was like my favorite sub-franchise, so I'm like, I'm gonna watch that. Gotta watch Guardians 3, and it was very good. Did not disappoint.
It was fine.
That's true. It was a good movie.
It was fine. In terms of like Marvel stuff, it was fine.
There was definitely a good ending point for my interest in their big entire franchise.
Yeah.
Like Marvel is now Spider-Man and Friends, and that's assuming Tom Holland comes back, which is no guarantee he's gonna come back anyway.
Yeah.
So Marvel's basically dead. They're on the C-list heroes now, so they should just reboot it and just do X-Men if they're smart.
I think that they have to let it go for a while, or something, because for me, everyone says like they did too good of a job at Endgame because Endgame is like a perfect place to stop, and then it's like, oh, I'll check in for I checked in for Guardians 3, because I like Adam Warlock, and then was really bummed out about how they did Adam Warlock, or he's not in the movie at all until the very
that's the one bad part of the movie. Like, there's so much going on. There's like not enough time to include him. It's like weird.
Yeah, that just like that movie. I don't know. Everybody holds that movie up, and I guess as a hot take, I don't see it. I don't see it. Like, everyone's like, oh, the hallway scene. Like, the hallway scene's great, and I'm like, I watched the hallway scene in my eyes. I could not understand what was going on visually.
Honestly, I think part of the reason Guardians 3 was so well received is because of how terrible the past 5 Marvel movies before that, where like Doctor Strange, Thor, Ant-Man were all garbage, like really bad.
Ant-Man especially.
Yes, Ant-Man especially was one of the worst movies I've ever watched in a theater.
Yeah.
And then you go to Guardians, which is at least competently directed and has a story with actual emotions in it. And people are like, oh my god.
And it's characters that we love, like you know,
exactly.
I love those characters. Those characters are great, and it's nice to like.
I do agree that
see them off.
I agree that Adam Warlock was severely underutilized.
Yeah.
But I can't even blame James Gunn because it was like he had Guardians 2, right?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, all of his characters are ripped away from him for Infinity War and Endgame. Not saying they were misused in those movies, but like, they killed off Gamora. They killed off one of his main characters. Now it's like, all right, now you have the characters back, but like all this stuff happened to them, so now you have to rework everything. Because Guardians 3 was originally going to come out, I think, before Infinity War and Endgame. But then James Gunn got fired because of the whole Twitter thing.
Geez,
and then he went off to DC. Yeah, so people forget about that. But that's the reason Guardians 3 came so late.
Yeah.
Is because he went over and did the Suicide Squad with DC and then came back. Because Guardians 3 was going to come out like 4 years earlier.
Yep. Okay.
But it didn't. So.
Well, thank you for that reminder.
I think just because he had all his characters ripped away in Infinity War Endgame, and it's like, well, now you have to like, he had to totally rewrite the entire Gamora and Peter like thing because she died and now is a new character. So
yeah, that's true.
People seem to forget about that, but I think it's important to note that.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely.
I think he did good given, and not to mention they're in Thor, which is forgettable.
Yeah, I think that those things to give you credit, those things like raise the sale of his film just because like he had to work under so many constraints. Like. I've totally forgot about that he had been thrown off of those movies for a little while there.
The only reason he came back was because like the entire cast and the whole main cast was like, we're not going to work with another director for this movie.
Yeah. So good on everybody for sticking to their guns there. But I mean, the thing that
nope.
Yeah, I didn't even
no
think
pun
about
intended.
That. Yeah, you're wrong. That one's free.
But
there's stuff coming now that I'm more excited for. And I think part of it's that it's not attached to IP. Like the guy who did Rogue One, I can't remember his name right now.
Oh, we're talking about the creator?
Yeah, we're talking about the creator. That looks good.
Ooh,
that looks
I'm
interesting.
excited. I am excited.
Yeah, like a new.
I'm really excited for. Because they have that. Mm-hmm. There's that, then Dune 2, and then Rebel Moon.
Yeah.
All three look very good.
Yeah,
I'm excited for all three.
Well, I watched the trailer for that because I'm a big my two things, fantasy and sci-fi. And I watched the trailer for that, and I'm like, okay, what is this based off of? Because it's not telling me. So I looked it up, and I was really surprised that like it's all original. It's not Gareth Edwards is like, this is not based off anything. It's its own thing. Like, even if it's derivative of something else, it's just really refreshing to see something that's original and not been, not adapted from something else. Dune is fantastic, but it's nice to have something that is not burdened by being an adaptation of something else or related to, whatever. So that is what excites me. And whether or not it's good.
Well, yeah. Actually, I forgot. Dune 2 got pushed back because of the strikes, so now it's not coming out for
I imagine nothing's coming out for a while.
Yeah. We're gonna have to be relying on YouTube content, so make sure you guys like and subscribe. Yeah, this is all you're gonna have for the next year.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. We're gonna have to deal with.
You get to be consuming our terrible content here until they start making real stuff again.
Yeah. Until Jimmy Fallon lets us on his show, which is
obviously.
I am kind of glad that I didn't end up going to go work that route, trying to go into Hollywood or anything like that, because it's just a mess. Like I've been following the news with that. It's just, these people that are, these union members are dedicated, and they're not gonna give up. And maybe the next James Bond movie will be just like Quantum of Solace, because nobody was there to write it.
Quantum Solace. I remember seeing that one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
What?
Isn't that no? I thought isn't that the one that's like isn't that considered the worst Daniel Craig one?
Quantum of Solace.
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
Because that wasn't the most recent one, right? That was the one before.
That was the second Daniel Craig one.
Yeah, that was right after Casino Royale.
No, it was second after Casino Royale.
Oh, that one's after. Oh, sorry, I thought that one was after Skyfall.
No, Skyfall came after.
No.
Oh, and then Spectre's after that.
Spectre. I actually Spectre's the only James Bond movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
Really?
So
only one.
I won't go too far into the James Bond hole, but I will say if you're looking for like that perfect movie, Casino Royale is incredible. It's so good.
I've heard
it's
that.
So good. It's just like everything that you would want. If you're like, what's a James Bond movie like? You watch Casino Royale, you get everything you're looking for, and you're like, perfect. Now I understand, and I could go into the weird one where Daniel Craig does. He dresses up like an Asian person, disguised. You know, that's weird. Him and his little, him and his silly.
It's disguise. He has
guys.
to disguise himself.
It's a disguise.
Yeah.
It's a disguise. I swear. You only live twice. Very strange movie. There's like a big long helicopter chase, and he's on this tiny little like funny pipe helicopter. It's James Bond is weird, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of strange things that happen throughout all those movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a good handful of them. They're wacky.
Yeah, they are, and I think kind of to like get onto this a little bit is I think things are better when they're like a little wacky. You know, like
it gives it more character.
Yeah,
it's more memorable. Like, what's his name? Jaws from.
Yep.
Whichever movie that was that he's in.
Yeah, but just like, man, if things are a little like you can get to a serious theme, but like take Twin Peaks for example, right? Like Twin Peaks, super serious. You know, David Lynch also is like putting a bunch of weird stuff in there, like the Red Room.
That's so funny. This is the second episode in a row Twin Peaks has been mentioned.
Yeah.
Really?
No, because Lewis talked about it when we were talking. Because I
still don't know what Twin Peaks is.
It's just a weird. I haven't even seen it, but I know what it is.
Yeah.
Remember we were talking about Mulholland Drive.
Yep.
Same guy.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So David Lynch is just like a great example of like, oh my god, you watch like Blue Velvet. Blue Velvet's horrifying. And it's got the guy who played Dennis Hopper, the guy who played Bowser in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
That's pretty funny.
And he's like, it's so strange and weird and just like, and also funny. And it's like, okay, you know what? If you can balance all these three things and like throw a little bit of like wackiness in there, you got me. Compared to like something that's just very straight laced, it's not the same.
Yeah. I mean, there are definitely some movies that need to be realistic,
yeah.
Mostly if they're like historical based.
Yeah.
But like movies are supposed to be fun. They're supposed to not make sense. They're supposed to be escapism.
Yep.
Supposed to be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, to get your engagement. I don't know if Oppenheimer is still real hot, but like Oppenheimer did not need to be funny, but there were elements of that where I'm like, yeah, this is a little weird. Like, this is a little silly. So I appreciated it for that.
Sorry, you cut out there for a second. What'd you say?
Oppenheimer was definitely a little silly, and I appreciated it for that. Like it was really serious, but there were some parts where
we haven't talked about Oppenheimer yet.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on it?
So between the two, because I saw Barbie and I saw Oppenheimer, and I loved both of them. I think that Oppenheimer is, and I'm not a big Nolan guy. I'm not a big Chris Nolan guy. But I think that Oppenheimer was just incredible. Like I sat down and was glued to the screen the entire time. It didn't lose me once, and this is rare for like a 3.5 hour movie that I was just like glued the entire time. I've watched a lot of movies, had to back in school, and just like, oh my god, to have something that gets you that fully, I loved it. Barbie.
Honestly,
Barbie was great too.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh, you can give your thoughts on Barbie too.
Yeah,
if you,
Barbie was fine. I think it's not going to hold up as long as Oppenheimer will. And that's not a slight on the people who directed it, but it's just like it's not going to be the same. It dragged a little bit in the middle too, but excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah.
I just had one thing to say, and that was, I'm Strauss.
I'm Strauss.
Oh yes.
I don't know if you've seen
Yes,
that meme.
yes.
Oh, okay, he knows.
He knows
knows what we're
Robert
laughing
Downey
about.
Jr. at the bottom going, I'm
Strauss.
Strauss. That's all I think about when I think of Oppenheimer now.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them. I think that Oppenheimer is just like so funny.
Yeah, I'll give my quick run.
Yeah,
I think
please.
Barbie is clearly not a movie that was made for our demographic, which is fine. Like I don't think it should have been. So, it's obviously not a movie that speaks to me directly, but again, it's not for me, so I can't be upset about that. But Ryan Gosling's hilarious.
Yeah.
Even like Margot Robbie did a good job too. But Ryan Gosling was, I mean, I really, if you've never seen The Nice Guys, I highly recommend watching that movie. 'Cause
yeah, that's a good one.
Another Ryan Gosling movie where he does comedy.
Yeah.
And I know he's kind of more famous for his serious roles, but like honestly, I mean, now after Barbie, that might switch into being more of a, he might be known as more of a comedic actor, but
Yeah.
Barbie was good. I think it was solid, but Oppenheimer is it's kind of a mixed bag for me because I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It was very enjoyable. I can kind of tell this is Christopher Nolan's film he's put the most passion into,
Yeah.
and that this is very much his kind of like his magnum opus in a way. It's obviously his least action-packed movie. It has the least action of any Christopher Nolan film I've ever watched.
Yep.
And I've seen all of them, I think, except for Memento. So.
Oh, okay.
probably got the highest
You're,
death
you're
count, though.
missing out because Memento is his best.
I know, and I'm gonna watch it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the only one I haven't seen.
That's his best.
But I think he put so much passion, was so excited about this movie that he made it 20 minutes longer than it should have been. And
Yeah,
I was
I
glued to the
agree.
screen too, but I do think it could have been, because it's like a little over 3 hours. It could have been even 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think there was definitely a couple scenes I think that could have been taken out because they didn't really add much.
Mm-hmm.
It was more just like build up.
Yeah.
But I do think it was interesting because going into the movie, I didn't realize how heavily it was going to revolve. I mean, obviously, I knew it was going to revolve around Oppenheimer. It's the name of the movie, but I thought it might be more about the bomb and the historical situation. But no, he's like in every scene. It's completely about the man. It's not
Yeah.
really about the historical situation, which is, I can't say which one would have been a better way to take the movie, whether or not it should have been more of a historical piece and about the war and the implications of it on humanity, which they touch on, but it's really more about the guy himself. I honestly don't know. Maybe it's seeing it through Oppenheimer's lens is a better way to. I honestly have no idea because I haven't seen the alternative, but
Yeah.
I think it was an interesting choice to do it that way. Maybe it's because it makes us connect more because we're seeing it through the eyes of a human and a character. It's interesting.
Yeah, I
Well-
think I liked it more that it was focused on him. Because you know, like, how much can you really say? Like, you can say a lot, you know, but we've seen so many different representations of, like, Akira or stuff like that, where, you know, a nuclear weapon is dropped, or like When the Wind Blows is incredible. If you've never seen that film and you need to be depressed for an evening, but like you've seen so many representations of nuclear warfare that I think it's interesting to examine that through like that effect that that it has on him. And
Sure. It's also based off a book,
Yeah.
which is like a biography of his life.
Yep.
So,
yep, that too. So
what are your thoughts, Brendan?
Well, I actually disagree with you a little bit because to me the entire second half of that movie after they test the bomb is entirely about the implications of using it against humanity. And like
I disagree because the whole second half of the movie is basically just him and his trial.
that whole thing is more or less boiling down to like, was it okay to use? Like that's something that crosses his mind frequently throughout
True,
that
but it's
second
still
half of the
framed
movie.
from the perspective of we're asking him these questions. It's him in his like room whether or not he should have the clearance, and then it's also Strauss's Senate hearing. So it's really framed through those two characters. Not like we never see the American people's reaction. We never see the Japanese people. We never see like any reactions outside of Oppenheimer and what he's related with.
yeah,
So I still think it's more about him than it is about the situation.
Yeah, I agree.
Fair enough.
I agree with you. I think it is definitely more about him and about Strauss and about all of that interplay.
Strauss.
Strauss. And like Robert Downey Jr. actually, like I guess everybody was really surprised, but like he shows up and he acts and like acts.
I think anybody who hasn't seen a movie before Iron Man of him acting would be surprised, but like
Yeah.
I
I
don't know,
mean,
like-
he's he really puts in like. It was surprising as somebody who's seen so much Marvel. Like, yeah, he's been in Marvel for so many years, but then like just let him get in and just really get into the zone and like actually really act is really fun to watch because how much are you actually acting from Marvel? Like how deep is Tony Stark really? Like that kind of stuff.
I mean, they give him more depth than most of the heroes.
Yeah, they do. I'm not saying that he doesn't have depth. I'm just saying like
rich billionaire who's good with tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that for that like seeing
To be fair,
yeah.
comic book characters have never been known for their depth.
No, not really. I mean, Watchmen is the exception, but Watchmen has its own baggage. Anyway.
Watchmen is just like the Cold War, but like there's some superheroes in it.
Yeah. Watchmen's good. I like Watchmen, but it's like I don't know. Everybody points to Watchmen, and I feel like we need to be pointing at some other stuff too. Like Watchmen's a good place to start. Yeah, but like comics wise, you gotta read more than just Watchmen, and that includes myself too, because I need to like read more comics again.
Just be like us and never read any comics.
Yeah, it's either you read no comics,
except
the one that we read for
what was
Lewis.
it, Midnight Western Theater.
Yeah. It's either you commit to it and you read more comics, or you say screw this, I'm not reading more.
There you
comics.
go, Lewis.
Especially for you.
not
Lewis
even
is the only
available for
comic book
pre-order
person I
anymore.
know now.
I thought you guys were I thought comic books would be the only thing you could read because I've heard you have difficulty with the printed
That's
word.
true. I like the pictures.
No, I can't read.
Yeah, I know. I
okay,
remember. I had
okay.
to teach Brendan those big words. He only see. He likes. There's also too much color on the pages. It kind of overwhelmed him.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a little- it's a
that's
little
fair.
much.
Maybe you'll like manga. It's black and white.
Ooh. there you go.
Actually, I do like
You do?
manga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's your favorite anime? of all
Oh,
time?
that's
Go.
tough. That's
Oh,
tough. That's
shit.
tough.
Oh, Chainsaw Man because of the manga.
I put you on the spot. You got 10 seconds.
So I'm a really big Mobile Suit Gundam guy. That is huge.
Never seen it.
for
must,
me-
must be bad.
That makes sense. I know he's into mech.
Yeah. I'm really
Like
into
mechs.
mech and mech stuff. And so that is like a, that is a rabbit hole that I could fall down forever. But in terms of like anime, dude, just literally, it's gonna be so weird because I'm like gritty war anime and then slice of life. Spy Family this season has been incredible. I'm really hoping they don't botch the other seasons. Man, it's so tough to choose a favorite because there's so much. So I'm gonna have to say Sword Art Online. No.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I've
Sorry,
never
just say
seen a
One
single
Piece.
episode of that show, and I'm
You
never
kidnapped
going
the wrong
to.
guy.
You could not pay me to. You could not pay me to watch
Yeah,
that show. I'm never
I
going
think
to.
everybody starts there. They're like Cowboy Bebop.
No.
Those are the two.
I mean, that's.
I
That's
didn't
like-
start there.
Yeah. That's
All right, Brendan, tell us what your
Yeah, you
favorite
gotta tell
anime
me.
I
is.
already said it.
Did you?
Yeah, it's Chainsaw Man.
Oh, Chainsaw
because of the
Man,
manga.
okay.
I mean, I
That's
don't
a
know.
good one.
I don't know if it's like. It was my favorite anime because like I know how the book ends,
Oh, okay.
but the show leaves off like halfway to the end of the story.
Yeah, and aren't you gonna be waiting?
So like it's good, but
Is it?
it doesn't. You don't get the satisfaction that reading
Yeah,
gets you.
yeah. And is it that or Invincible that's gonna take like another 3 years to finish? Because Invincible, I know is
No, Invincible's coming out this year. Or at least part one is.
Yeah.
and then the
Because it
second
came
part comes
out. It came out in like 2020, right? I
Yeah,
remember.
it was either that or 2021.
Yeah, I remember there was incredible like wait. They're like, I hope you enjoyed this first season of Invincible that we just put out because it's gonna be another 4 years or something, which is no shame on them. I'm glad that they took their time. But, like, I don't know. As a media consumer, not used to that. Not used to waiting for animation.
Yeah. Honestly, this summer I've watched like more anime than I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I got sick of watching really bad live action.
Yeah.
Probably,
You know, I don't mean to...
I just finished Hell's Paradise.
cool.
That was alright. Yeah. Honestly, not as good as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
That was okay.
I think...
Jujutsu Kaisen's very good, though.
Okay.
I like that one. That was
You know,
very
for
good.
me,
That one was good.
part of what attracts me to anime and you know, it just other cultures in general is like, it's not as, for some reason, it's just not as sanitized. Like, they're just able to tell different stories or put different spins on things. Like, people are just, they'll just take a stab at whatever. And maybe it's because it's already been in a manga and they'll know that it'll sell or whatever. But, like, it's just cool to see. It's cool to see that there are so many different things coming out compared to, like, what's the adult cartoon in America? It's, like, Family Guy or Family Guy derivative. Like, there's not much else happening.
Nah, there's some exceptions,
There are.
like BoJack
There are,
Horseman
and BoJack
or-
was great. But most of it, you know, the most of what's getting popular
True.
is, like, not interesting or...
Hey, we did a whole episode. Plug that episode.
Yep.
We did a whole episode on adult animation. in
Yeah,
America.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we did do that one.
But honestly, I think part of the reason I like anime, or at least like certain animes, it really depends on the anime. Is that remember I introduced Brendan to One Punch Man because I just think the concept of, and it's the same with Mob Psycho, having the concept of the protagonist being like God and basically unbeatable, is just there's nothing in Western media that has a character like that.
No.
Like, even like Superman, like yeah, he's a god, but he's also like he has like the one thing that can kill him instantly.
Yep.
Versus One Punch Man, where he's literally God and it doesn't matter what happens. Like he's always gonna win.
You know he's gonna win.
and that-
it's like how?
Exactly, but that creates just a different type of storytelling.
Yeah.
'Cause the story isn't like the story isn't we're leading up to the guy that's gonna defeat him, because that's not the point. The point is like how does he exist in the world and
Yeah.
like, how people perceive him. And I just think it's just a different type of storytelling, and there's just nothing like it in Western media.
No.
So that's something I find interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not so much into like shonen because of that. Because I don't like Dragon Ball. I don't know, something about like the Dragon Ball like power
no.
ladder, dude.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
You watch your mouth.
okay, yeah, I told you I was gonna
It
get-
works
Brendan's got some
perfectly.
strong
Pissed
opinions
off.
on
The Dragon Ball Power Ladder works perfectly.
Yeah, that's his favorite anime.
Yeah,
All right, they stop at 9,000 and then it just increases to like the millions.
yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's just gonna keep going.
I think you're just upset because you would be low on the power.
Yeah, I would be.
scale.
I'd be very low. Yeah, I'm like a.
You just gotta work. You just gotta work on it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
We gotta work on your key training, buddy.
Fusion.
That's all it
I'm
is.
gonna
It's a
I'm
skill
gonna find
issue.
you guys, and we're gonna like fusion ha together and become like the ultimate podcaster.
Yeah.
Why haven't you done that
And then,
before?
yeah,
Alright,
me and
our
AJ are
next-
gonna do that when we fight you in real
Our
life.
next podcast episode is gonna be in your front yard.
Yeah.
So hope you're ready.
Yeah.
It's the
We're gonna
battle
set up
royale.
a table. And we're gonna strap you. We're gonna tie you to the chair, and it's gonna be great.
Nice. Yeah.
As you and the finale will be you watching us burn your house.
Yeah. If I fail to fuse with you guys,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like terrible, awful consequences.
We're like reverse Mr. Beast. We take things away.
That's true.
Yeah.
Reverse
Everybody has yin and yang, right? So Mr.
Yeah.
Beast cures 12
This-
people with blindness. Brendan and AJ got to go around and like gouge 12 people's eyes out just to make sure.
Start blinding people
Yeah.
with bleach.
We gotta make sure that it's it's like that one guy who goes, every time I eat double the meat, so that one vegan who thinks they're making a difference is not making a difference at all.
Yeah. You
It's
just
like I always eat 2 burgers.
yeah. Like I'll have yours, thanks. Like you can,
Yeah, we're more unique.
I feel like
you
that
know?
would be such an like if you're gonna be a superpower. I feel like being able to like reverse undo good deeds. Like okay, so there's this. People say like, oh, what superpower would you want to have? And I'd be like, I would want to undo the damage that 9/11 caused, but not like undo the event. So like yeah, the people who passed away, they would be brought back to life, but it would have happened, and they would have been like, wow.
But still war in the
Yep,
Middle East.
still war in the Middle East. There's still two like
Okay.
it happened.
Oh, okay,
It
good.
happened.
I think we know who's been lobbying him.
Yeah.
I think he's a big fan of Raytheon.
Hang on to your oil.
Are you a federal
folks.
agent? We love dropping bombs.
So that it's just like sometimes being able to undo somebody else's deed, like good or bad, is just that's more interesting to me than like doing something at all. It's like, oh, you want to shoot laser beams out of your eyes? That's cool. I just want to like be able to take all your body heat away or something like that. Just something weird.
Yeah, I would undo cool things like man's invention of fire so that we wouldn't have this.
What's the
So basically, what I'm hearing is that you want to be like God and be able to like change the timeline and see what effects.
Yeah, I
happen.
feel like I would just want to have like a control. I want to have Control Z. Like, I just want to have not even that. I just want to be like undo the consequences.
You gotta make sure you have Control C. And
Yeah,
Control V
yeah.
As well.
Or just Control V.
So you can copy and paste.
Just do the Smosh Magic keyboard.
Smosh Magic.
Yeah, I'm just like Smosh, everybody. I'm just like
Yeah.
Smosh.
Yeah, so are we.
Yeah. Anthony, watch out. Is it Anthony and Daniel? Smosh
Anthony
guys?
and Ian.
It's Ian.
Ian, okay.
not-
Ian and Anthony and Ian. My bad.
They're very good personal friends of ours.
Yeah.
you know
Watch
they're
out,
up
folks.
next. We have to make sure we threaten them too. Has there been a single podcast guest we haven't threatened yet?
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna
No.
threaten
All right,
them.
good. Let's keep up that trend. Let's keep it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna threaten them.
Well, yeah, I intend to.
I'm gonna say
Yeah, you're now
yeah,
you're now
email
our
them a
underling.
threat
to
for
pay back
us.
your rent. You have to go threaten
cool.
them.
That
Feel
works
like
for
our
me.
little
Because
toady.
Anthony and Ian, don't start a podcast because we've already been there, done that. There's nothing else
I
that
think
you can
Smosh had
say.
a podcast too, but that's when like Anthony left and like they had all the other.
Yeah.
Oh, and they
people on.
sucked.
Yeah, there's a reason that like when it's just now that their videos are doing millions of views again, it's because it's just Anthony and Ian again.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're actually funny.
Yeah, and they're like, it's like, oh, this is like not changed at all, but it's still pretty.
Yeah,
funny.
I have to try that because I remember.
You should honestly. Their new skits like, it's hard to compare them to the old ones, but they feel very similar.
They're
to be
pretty
honest.
similar.
They feel very
You know
similar.
who-
They're still pretty funny.
Dude, I don't know if you guys know this. This might be like just at the edge of your time. Screw Attack, Stuttering Craig. You guys remember Stuttering Craig?
Oh
dude?
yeah, I remember. Screw
Yeah,
Attack.
Yeah, there
No,
we
we're not.
go.
How young
They're
do you
still
think
around.
we are?
6. Yeah, I think Stuttering
he was
Craig
right.
is like
Basically.
Stuttering Craig like has his own YouTube channel now, and I feel kind of like weird about it because he's like trend chasing and all that. But you know, I do miss his voice. I do miss like Screw Attack top 10s for like hours on end. My brain melting out of my ears. Like some of that stuff. I wish I could like. I guess I can watch them, but I wish like we could keep doing that. Maybe you guys should just buy the Screw Attack channel and make it into the permanent
There we go.
detail.
They're
Yeah,
next
we'll just
up.
buy it.
They're next up on chopping
yeah,
block.
get Stuttering Craig on the show. I'm sure he would do it. I'm sure he'd sell it.
Yeah, it's part of our infinite money glitch.
It's a
which is called
4-man
stealing.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's the infinite money glitch.
Infinite money glitch steal from other people.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that every fast food establishment has a free food rack in it?
Free food back.
What's isn't like I know so AJ, you're a retail associate. Is there an acceptable amount of product that we could steal from your fine establishment? Like, is there a number?
Yeah, you know me. I've worked in retail, the restaurant industry.
Yep.
I own this company.
Yep. Congrats.
It's great. I think as long as you run fast enough, you can take as much as you want.
How much podcast? How much permanent detour?
It depends on your speed. It's like the faster you are, it's
Okay.
like. It was just like, actually, this reminds me because I just watched Tokyo Drift
Yeah.
last night. And they were driving by the cops, and he's like, "Oh, we went over this specified number of miles or
Yeah,
kilometers per
yeah,
hour
they
here
go
in Japan.
faster than their
We
cars.
go
can.
faster than so as long as you can outrun the security and the employees,
Yep.
then take as much as you want.
See,
But remember, the more you take, the slower you'll be. So you gotta find that right.
yeah,
balance.
you got to
How
go for
many
a
dedicated
high-value
employees
item.
does your store really have that will
It's-
chase down the product?
Imagine if like that's how like you were allowed to shoplift. If you could outrun one employee, so just have one employee standing by the door ready to sprint after you. if you
Honestly,
tried to
though,
steal.
that'd
be so funny.
so
Stealing for sport.
that is how I feel, and this is gonna be weird. That's how I feel about my house. Like if somebody was stealing stuff from my house, and they got in there and like managed to get out, whatever, fine, take it. Like you clearly wanted to work for it, right? Like like mad.
Well, only if they do it in a
Well,
creative
no,
way.
clearly
Well,
not.
you know what I mean.
That's
but,
why
like,
they
like,
took it.
They
Wanna
put in the
work
effort.
for
That's why they taked it from you.
That's how you
I
guys
think that's
got
only
me. That's what I
acceptable
said
if they
when you guys showed up.
if they rob you in a creative
we stole
way.
them.
Yeah.
We just rob you with bad contracts and making
yeah,
you sign them.
yeah. When you showed up and said, "All right,"
Yeah,
get
more
in the
like
car.
intellectual theft.
In the car.
Yeah,
we're going.
yeah.
We got a
I was
podcast
like,
to
okay, you know
record.
what? You drove all the way here out to my little section of the woods. I feel like I have to honor that contract that you made me sign. So here we are.
It's the rules of podcasting.
Yeah. If it's like I like to think of it as like the it's like an IOU. It's like the great IOU. Is like as soon as you start producing content on the internet, AJ and Brendan will appear. I said content. AJ and Brendan will appear. They will kidnap you and they will make you come on the podcast because that's just the toll to get over the bridge.
Exactly.
We're like leeches.
Yeah. You guys.
I prefer the term parasite. Excuse me.
Parasite.
Yeah, I prefer that.
Nobody gets through without us
Don't
taking a bite.
offend me
Yeah.
with such derogatory language.
I'm sure there's a better. I'm sure there's like a scientific term that isn't parasite, but like something of that nature.
Yeah, we're like that fish in the Amazon River that swims up your urethra.
Thank you.
That's a parasitic fish.
Good news is
It's real, I promise.
Good news is
We
I
got
don't
that.
have.
Make sure we get that in before the hour mark.
Yeah, that is
For sure.
like 56 minutes, I think. Yeah, but
There we go.
that's good because I'm a Lego person. I don't have one of those. So I think I avoided that. Let's go, gamers.
There you go. Speaking of stealing,
Yes.
Everybody.
your YouTube channel. Why did you steal all your ideas from George Lucas?
So I think George Lucas is a
answer that?
hack, and I really wanted to make sure to let everybody know that by taking his ideas, you know what? I'm just taking them. It's like if you take George Lucas's ideas, because he already made billions of dollars, I'm thinking I can make like $40 off of it. I'm thinking I can make $40-50 off George Lucas, and that's enough for me. Like that keeps my lights on.
He's entitled to that money. Give it back.
Yeah,
Better yet, give it to us.
Mail
We'll-
that $50 to George
dude,
Lucas.
Actually,
George.
better yet, give it to us, and then we'll give it to
okay.
him.
Okay.
Dear George, I owe
Yeah,
you
I owe
with
you.
$50 paper clip to it.
It's like crumpled $1 bills. I feel like I'd send him like a stack of pennies.
It's 5,000 pennies.
Yeah.
All right.
The
Well,
big Santa Claus
Yep.
sack.
Yeah.
Now that we're on the topic of your YouTube channel,
Sorry, George.
We're back. We're back. I want to know more about your process of creating videos. You know, where do you get the ideas, and then like,
Yeah. Yeah. So.
what type of content do you like? I know we already
Mm-hmm.
talked about like what you do, but like more like, I want to understand the process.
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
about,
So
like,
first,
start to finish.
the first thing I do is I go to my notebook that's labeled George Lucas's ideas. I go to the notebook of George Lucas's ideas, and I just pick one right out of the list.
That was implied.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to make sure that was explicit, so that everybody, when you show up to my house, again, you can find the notebook and make your millions. No, but
Make sure to look for his address in
Yep.
the top link in the description.
Yep.
So.
Top right corner, it should be there. So for seriously though,
It's a Google Maps
yeah,
link.
yeah, it's just like a pin. It's up in the card right now. Yeah, have fun with
Make
that,
sure to
AJ.
click on it.
So anyway, my process. Usually, what I did this kind of season, as I'm calling it, is I made 10 to like 15 video ideas where I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to talk about. And some of it's like building my own stuff. Some of it's trying to go out and go, thrift up old Lego stuff or see what there is, or like talking about different topics and kind of like just have those ideas and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and then go through a pretty stock standard term of like production. So I was unable to shoot more videos over the summer, so I did a lot of scripting. So I would like go and write a ton of videos and just like change the scripts, read through the scripts, test those out and see how those work. And then when it comes down to shooting, like honestly, I'm a very wasteful shooter. Like Jesus. I'm a very wasteful video creator. I take the opposite of Slugger's approach and like generate everything per video. So it takes a while. Like that food video, I am a little embarrassed to say it took like 3 or 4 hours to make 4 minutes. But I think that's like, for me, that's the joy of doing it, is like doing the photography and being able to just get in that meditative state of like just having a list of items that you need to shoot and having more of the footage than what you need. Like, so for 4 minutes of footage, I think I had like 20 minutes of video. And I was like, okay, I have enough to be able to work this around my voiceover, and I know what I want, but if I want a different option or something else takes my fancy, like, I like to give myself as many options when we go into editing as possible. Just because I hate being locked into like this bad take that I made. And like, oh, it comes from my filmmaking brain of like, oh, I made a really terrible take. I have to use it. And it's like, no, well, you know what? Because I'm not working with a crew and I'm not working with any money, I can make as many takes as I want and like make as many different takes as I want and really like try to get everything as close to, as good as it's going to be, instead of, being pushed to meet a deadline, because the deadline's mine. Like, everybody who watches the videos knows kind of now that they will just come out when they're ready, and I'll try to stick to a schedule, but I have much more time to just take it slow and think everything through.
No, that's definitely an interesting way to. You put a lot more effort in organization than we do. So
yeah.
Props to you for that.
Yeah, our production process is a little different.
Our production process.
Have
is
you
we
seen?
Sit down
Have you seen? Have you seen Apocalypse Now?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Apocalypse Now. Yeah.
You remember that opening scene of Martin Sheen going crazy in the hotel room? That's kind of what our brainstorm process is like.
Yeah. Just because
where he's
there's
like,
actually
where he's
only
like busting himself up
Yep.
on the mirrors and like throwing himself around and getting all messed up in
Yeah.
the room and going crazy. That's kind of what we're like when we plan for a podcast.
That's good. That's good.
And then we get all hyped up and we come kidnap a guest like you.
Yeah, it's mostly because there's only one of us, and Brendan's just a figment of my imagination.
yeah.
I just scream into the mirror and change voices.
AJ's like off his meds for 2 weeks.
He's gotten really good at it, if you couldn't tell.
Whoever.
That's funny. You think I have
Yeah,
meds.
your roommate's like, AJ, I see you haven't been taking your meds. Are you doing another podcast? You're like foaming at the
I don't need help.
I don't need help. I am God.
That's all. That's also. I'm pretty sure my roommate's fake too. I think I made him up as well. I'm actually not convinced you're real. Either.
Yeah. That's
There's
been,
no
that's
proof.
been leveled
Yeah,
at
I'm
me.
just talking to him like by myself.
Yeah, you might be.
And I switched between 3 voices today to do a
It's
guest.
so weird to think about, like, not to think about if you're real or not, but to be like, it's just strange, this world that we inhabit now of like being online and being like, you are such and such online, but you're not such and such in real life. Like, when I met AJ and Brendan, I realized that they were both the same person, and that shook me to my core. Sorry, AJ.
It's quite the realization, and you'll never be the same.
It made him much more compliant with the kidnapping process.
Yeah. If you're familiar with Split, it was similar to Split.
Yeah.
He realized he was in a good deal of trouble when 2 voices started coming out of one guy.
Yeah. I'm frightened of ventriloquists.
Yeah, but in all seriousness,
Yeah.
I think I actually really like the aesthetic to your
Oh, thank you.
channel, and like the way I like the candles. I like
Yeah.
because I obviously you alluded to the Lego castle and like the tavern sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming I guess I'm just assuming that's because you like Lego Castle so much, and that's kind of the direction you went in, which I
Yeah.
think there's actually not that many Lego Castle YouTubers. So
Yeah,
I think it's
so-
nice. Just like with Slugger, like Rock Raiders, I like seeing these older themes get some attention because
Yeah.
they really don't. Besides like the newer themes, but
Yeah.
maybe you can talk more about that and how you try to create this specific aesthetic for your channel.
Yeah. So when I started this out, so I play a lot of D&D. Add that to the list of like, yeah, that makes sense. Lots of Dungeons and Dragons.
All right,
And,
chat. We're
and,
checking
All
it
right,
off.
all right,
now.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Check.
Check.
Yep. Thank you.
You're only a couple checks away, so be careful.
Watch out.
Watch
Okay,
yourself.
Okay. I'll be real careful. So that was kind of the impetus for that, and also like I think that a lot of people who make videos, video creators, filmmakers, etc., especially with criticism, there's such like there's such a negative slant to everything, and I think that even bleeds through a little bit into the video creation process. Like if you look at like Jang Bricks or some of the other video Lego creators, they have a very like clear and objective lens of sets. So when you're doing a set review, you need your set to look a certain way because that is how you want a nice white background, you want clear lighting, like all of those things. And it's like, yeah, that is nice. But I think there's something to be said for kind of like making sure that you have something unique. So I'm talking about Lego Castle. Like this whole thing started because I got the Forest Hideout gift with purchase and wanted to do something for it. And so I made a video and kind of was like, okay, I want to keep making videos. And so, I like talking about Lego Castle. I like the atmosphere of kind of this relaxed, really chill tavern environment and someone, it's something different. A lot of people don't have like that set where you're like, yes, I am in this atmosphere. We have the candles, we have the warm lighting. Like even the videos. Some of the earlier videos are actually color graded to orange, so they're a little more orange. Everything is. So if you look at something and you're like, this is kind of orange, know that that's on purpose and not a mistake. Except for like. Yeah, nothing. Everything is orange. I actually just see an orange. But like, yeah, warm lighting, all that stuff really create the atmosphere. I mean, even the candles for myself, when I light a candle, I'm like, okay, I'm working on a video because it smells like apple cinnamon in my room or whatever. I think that really puts me in like the headspace of being this character and being kind of this grateful, gracious tavern person who talks about Lego and kind of just has like this chill environment. So for me, that's kind of setting that up is really important compared to like, lighting everything all over the place. And sometimes I'm willing to trade off. Like, this is a little unclear. Like the lighting is a little difficult to decipher for the aesthetic and for the, I hate to say vibe, but like for the ambiance of the video itself.
I think it's definitely interesting because honestly, when I watch Lego videos, I don't watch that many reviews.
Yeah.
Even if I do watch a review, I'm just gonna
Yeah, you listen to it.
I'm gonna be constantly tapping my phone screen to skip ahead to certain parts.
Yeah.
Just to get a look at the set.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really engaging or watching the video that much, but like something like a retrospective or like just talking about something super niche or specific and whatever Lego theme, whatever channel it is. But like, I definitely think you fall definitely into that category, which is why I like the channel so much.
Yeah,
because
yeah, and
it's just more interesting to have you to sit there and listen to you talk about one of your favorite Lego Castle things with a cool background instead of like you said, like, oh, here's a set review of this Lego Castle set. It's like, well, I can look at it, I see it.
Yep,
So
yep. You see it, and these things have been around for so long that like. Vintage Castle Review is like a channel, and people, if you want to look at a set review, like, I don't know, I'm not the best everybody's already done a set review, but I like the idea of like engaging with it a little differently. So, I did the King Leo's Castle review, Lego 2000, the Dark Age or whatever the hell it's called. I just remember because just like a lot of people watched it and said some very nice things. But it was kind of like a set review tied in with this historical look at Lego Star Wars and kind of those, because like Knights Kingdom 1 and Lego Star Wars are kind of tied together because of the release year, and it's like, oh, it's a little more than like, this is just a castle and here are the walls and here, because if you do that, you're just like, again, you like you said, you lose people, right? And so my thought is like, okay, yes, this is a castle and these are the walls and this is the play feature, but like now it's kind of, okay, what else is interesting about this? Is there a context attached to it? That is the kind of stuff that I like to do more so now. And if you watch the older videos, like I did some set reviews and I just didn't love them because the sets I were reviewing, like I don't really buy new sets anymore very often, and much less like I'm not gonna be able to compete with like Caleb from Cheesy Studios or anybody like that because they're getting the sets, months before I am. So I can say something, but it's not gonna matter in the grand scheme of what that and just also, do I really want to make set reviews? Like, is that where my heart is? And not really, except in like rare occasions.
Have you considered just starting making Lego Star Wars set reviews?
I have.
I think. Yeah. How about you just just do that, but make sure you have a nice monotone voice. Don't
Yeah.
say anything interesting. And make sure you point out everything you hate about the set as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely do that.
I was really thinking. I like the E-wing, the one with all the color. I really think that they need to put more bluish gray on that set. It's too colorful. It's way too colorful.
Everyone go buy the new Chewbacca.
Yeah,
$200
please
best set ever released. Go buy it right now.
Yep, buy Chewbacca and buy the like grayest thing you can find on the shelf. Just go get that. You colored?
Go buy the Jyn Erso buildable figure.
Yeah, go get one of the.
You're missing. Everyone's missing out.
Yeah, mail that to George Lucas with a $50 bill.
Man,
With a $50 bill.
Yeah.
This is what you've done. You
Yeah.
you deciding to make this movie like
George.
40 years.
Use this
45
money.
years
Use
ago
this
is-
money
is
to buy your company back,
led
please.
to this point. The Jyn
The
Erso
Jyn
buildable
Erso
figure.
buildable figure, dude.
Oh.
Where?
That's a classic.
Oh man, those are like.
I still see that set at like random toy stores
Yeah.
because no one bought it.
Nobody
bought
it.
any of the buildable
Nobody
figures
was
besides
floating
Boba
around.
Fett and
Okay,
Grievous.
So on the topic of Lego Star Wars, because I do want to say something positive. There are some sets that I like, and they are sets that I've been like people have wanted me to part with because I'll always like, hey, I'm selling a bunch of Star Wars sets because I want to buy Castle or Pirates or Creator or whatever else that interests me that week, like Bionicle. People have been trying to buy my U-wing, my Rogue One like full sized U-wing.
Oh, I've got that.
Oh, I love that thing. That is
That is a great
Those are
one. Well, that's
beautiful.
like the best set out of the
I
2018
know.
wave or 2017
that
wave.
and the solo land speeder, Han Solo's land speeder. Love that set. The just like dark blue and white. Oh, so nice.
Oh, I have that one too. Yeah.
Those are like some. There are some winning Star Wars sets. I have a couple. I have the X-wing and the TIE fighter that came out not too long ago. Just because, like my grand scheme is I want to take that U-wing, take the X-wing, make the colors match. So either make the U-wing red squadron
Blue
or make
squadron.
the X-wing blue squadron, and make like a nice mock out of that. There are some good sets still.
No,
I don't want to be.
They don't have any U-wings in Red Squadron.
Yeah, that's the issue. But I feel like a red squadron.
Gonna have to make a blue X-wing.
Yeah, blue squadron X-wing would be easier, but red squadron U-wing would be so cool. But some of those
cool.
parts are hard to find in red. But there are some like
Yeah, it'd probably be easier to do the
Yeah.
the blue X-wing, especially because of the stickered elements on the U-wing.
Yeah. And just like even the printing and the stickers, like you said. But yeah, just there are some sets that I'm like, these are amazing. Like just but then there's most of like you get 25% of the sets that I'm like, maybe I'll buy that, and then you get 75% of the sets where I'm like, this is not good at all. Like this is like Andor. I like that set because I like utilitarian like space vehicles. Like I would love like more pirate craft. But oh my god, the price. Same thing with the like pirate snub fighter. Ridiculous. $35 for that? I'm not. No way.
You don't talk about that set.
No.
The snub fighter, the outcast of the Lego sets.
Yeah, but I feel like it's gonna if it were just like $20, if it were $20, I would probably buy like maybe even two because I love those. I like that like weird stuff. It's not normal. It's nice. It's weird. It's different. So
Have you considered maybe you're not normal?
no, I haven't. I haven't considered that. I haven't considered that.
You need to buy every clone set and
Yeah.
just yell at
Yep.
it and be like, yell at how much you hate it.
Yell at how much you hate it, and then hold on to the figures until they're worth $800.
Yeah, I'm gonna visit you.
You like weird sets.
Yep.
Ew, I buy clone troopers.
I buy clone troopers and then I don't do anything with them.
That is actually what I
just
do.
Like
You remember how many of those 501st sets I bought?
Yep.
I don't know. Spent
like
if you've heard of
$120
this.
on them.
But there's actually somebody similarly. I don't know if you're familiar. There's like a Dutch guy who has cornered the market on Rock Raiders Thunder Drillers, I think. Like, he just bought all of them. Is it
A Dutch guy bought all the clone troopers ever?
No, yeah, yes, that's...
Well, he can't have mine.
Yeah.
You talk about Mr. Jorgensen, Mr. Christian Jorgensen,
Mr. Jorgensen, sir,
the creator of Lego.
Could you please give me...
Whatever his name is.
Could you please give me another like Yellow Castle? I don't know. Give me more dark... If we're asking for anything, dark...
Oh, I can't believe I didn't ask you. What are your thoughts on the remake, the Lego Castle remake set?
The big one. I love that set. I wish I could get it. The issue is it's a space constraint, and also like it's so cool. It's so great. There's a lot of like nice things. Any set also that has like stuff in the instruction manual instantly goes up in my book. Like there's lore in that instruction manual, and I just think that's great. Like anything that's like the extra mile has been given, I'm totally with it. So those are neat. I have the creator one, the 3-in-1. The next video that's coming out Monday.
I know what you're talking about.
The next video that's coming out Monday, I actually built a really cool mock, like kind of mock. I got instructions off of Rebrickable for it, and it's so nice. Like just that set has so many great pieces in it. It's got the Black Falcons, which are my favorite castle faction. Like it's got everything. And for $100, like. Those are the good things where I'm like, yeah, Lego is fine. Like Lego is doing well. And then I look over and I see like Pirates of Barracuda Bay, which Bricklink Lego has just gotten a hold of.
That was such a good set. I wish I got it.
They've just gotten a hold of it, and it's like 300 times the price now. And I won't say too much, but Lego they know what they're doing. Like they know that that's what they're doing is they're taking the stuff, they're putting it out on the market for a limited time, and then they're putting it away, and letting the resellers have a hold of it. And they're gonna play into that for reasons.
Especially when they own the resale.
Exactly.
Site.
Yeah, they own and I've been working on some stuff for that too. A video for that, pretty long video for that too, of like. What are the effects of them actually owning that? Because they do own it. And I think it's important that we say that to as many people, even if they don't care. Like, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. And it's not like they are making money off of it. Like, they take a cut out of every sale.
Well, yeah, and they have the production, the sales, and the resales of all of their products on lock.
Yep.
I mean, the upside is that there's no fake Lego on Bricklink. Downside is Monopoly.
Yeah. And for me, like I usually buy things from Facebook Marketplace or from eBay or like other stuff. I don't necessarily buy off of Bricklink unless I need like specific individual pieces. But yeah, it's just that you can get savaged really quick. And like Mickey Mouse Brickhead, go do me a favor. Go to Bricklink, look up the price of the Mickey Mouse Brickhead. It is insane. The appreciation of how much. That's like $90 now for like a $10 little toy. Like ridiculous. And so that combined with
I'm researching now.
Yeah, thank you. Validate that. Somebody in the comments yell at me how I'm wrong. Please. Just do it even if I'm not right. Even if I'm right.
They actually don't have the Mickey Mouse Brickhead on Bricklink right now.
Yeah.
Sold out. They don't?
I'm on Bricklink. They don't have
sounds... No, there's no way they don't have
it.
Well,
you'd be surprised. Like, it's just some of these weird sets that people just grab a hold of, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is worth, $200 now. Like, who won?
There we go. Going for $91.
Yep. Up 800%.
65 used on eBay.
Everyone loves Mickey Mouse.
For Mickey Mouse. Like, come on.
It's from Mickey Mouse.
Disney adults be like.
So anyway, resellers, investors, like those people really get on my nerves. I know we talked about it at the very beginning, and it's kind of nice to,
it looks like you can't really find it for less than 90.
No. And for like
rare.
what reason?
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, that's why.
I think is why.
That's a good reason. That's a good reason.
Mortimer Mouse. How could he? How could Mortimer do
Well,
this to us?
whoa, hold on. You can get the Mickey Mouse and the mini brickheads on Mercari for $268.
That's
plus
a
$9.50
steal.
shipping.
That's a steal.
Buy now,
Buy now, guys.
now.
They're both
Hold
in the
them.
box. That value's only going to go up.
Actually. Or you could do the opposite and start, parting them out. There's no unique parts in that set. There can't be.
Just
There can't be.
buy as many of them as I can and sell them for like $3 in the
Yeah.
box just to tank the value.
Buy the box.
He's God's strongest soldier, fixing the market one
Yeah,
set
yeah,
at a
buy
time.
the
Yeah,
box.
use all my money to buy the rare sets and then sell them for dirt cheap so that people can have them and they're back in circulation.
Yeah, we thank you for your
See, the
heroics.
problem is if you did that, then the scalpers would just buy them
Yeah,
all.
Yeah, then
yeah.
then the scalpers just buy them back and sell them for $98 again on Mercari.
So there's one thing.
$268 for 2 brickheads.
Yeah, of course.
It's only a 40 times increase.
Yeah, and it's totally worth it.
Oh, 100%.
I would say buy now.
This is some people's full-time job.
Buy now.
We should do it for our full-time
Yeah,
job.
you should
Just
let me
resell
go.
Lego.
Let me out of this room and go start
No.
scalping
Oh,
Lego.
you thought that was a good one.
Ah,
He's
come
our
on,
little
come
chained-up
on, come
reseller guy.
You really
review-
thought we'd let you out of the Lego reselling room?
on.
No.
Please.
Yeah, you resell them. You sit on the computer all day and
You
sell
got some
them.
more packages to pack
not the
there,
bricks
buddy.
and minifigs, please. Oh man.
We should in your basement. We have just like whole operations.
Yeah.
Reselling.
Yeah. All the.
It's at his house.
It's in my
we
basement.
take it over.
It's in my basement. Yeah.
Hostile takeover of
It's
his
at
house.
Dr. Brick's
Yeah.
house. We haven't called you Dr. Brick
Terrible.
yet.
Yeah.
Dr.
There's
Brick,
so many
Dr.
different
Brick.
things. Like the weird thing is I don't have a name for myself. I know we kind of hit on it, but like I don't refer to myself as anything. I'm just like
You don't have a name?
No, I don't. I'm nameless.
And your parents are mean, man.
Yeah, your parents sounds like
talk
dicks.
Talk to like Jorgen
I'm
Nudgestorp.
calling Child Protective Services on them.
You gotta call Lego. They can name me.
He was born at the hospital, and they're like, "Ooh, what do you want to name your beautiful child?" And they're like, "Eh."
See
Don't
ya.
care your
They're
problem.
like, "I don't know. I want to go."
They're like,
"I
"Alright,
don't-"
I'll catch you later.
They're like, "I don't know. We'll take him
Yeah.
home and figure
They
it out."
delivered me right to the Lego factory, and they put me right to work.
Right there.
They dropped you off at our doorstep to start working.
It's a resale room. I love the
The resale room.
They dropped him off at his own house that we own.
The vague idea of like, I am kind of I like the idea that I exist as a Lego person, and that, that is where I begin and end.
I think you should just change your name every episode.
Yeah.
Every new
That's a good idea.
episode, just have a totally different
Yeah,
name.
yeah. Well,
Like do Dr. Brick for the next
Yep.
one, then do like Peter, and
Okay.
then do like
Peter, God damn it!
Yeah.
I hate you, Peter.
Well, if you see, I sent like I like the character. The character gets into a lot of trouble. He was previously threatened by Ninja, the original Ninjago team.
I remember that.
Yeah. So
is he playing Fortnite and then got streamed?
No, like the Ninjago.
no, like the
ninjas.
Ninjago ninjas. Like I just literally, if you watch like the Ninjago
How
polybags,
dare you discredit Ninja for
Fortnite,
creating the
yeah.
idea of ninjas? This is
Yeah, Ninja
blasphemy.
Fortnite. Yeah. Yeah.
He
You
created the
Ninja
idea
might
of
not
the
have
Ninja
heard-
Fortnite Blevins.
You might not have heard of Ninjago because they haven't had their Fortnite collaboration yet. But it is coming, I assure you.
I can't wait
there
till
have
they
been
introduce
rumors.
Ninja.
So watch out for that one, Fortnite gamers out there. Jesus.
You know, I do appreciate seeing.
Yeah, when's
the,
your next Fortnite live stream? We're actually gonna start. We're gonna make you do
Yeah,
Fortnite
yeah,
Twitch
the
streams
resale
now. That's your
room.
next task. Get ready.
It's
Get ready.
You better
In
be
the
good at
resale
it.
room.
I think
We're gonna give you like a. We're gonna give you the worst gaming laptop we can find. Be like, oh no, we're gonna give you an iPhone
Yeah.
like 4, or whatever the.
iPhone
We'll give you an
4.
iPhone 8
Yeah.
just because that's the last one that can play Fortnite mobile.
Yep.
You're gonna have to.
so it's
Where you're
100 wins for your freedom.
every win you get takes a year off.
I was thinking
your-
it's if I pack 5 boxes quickly enough, you let me live stream one match of Fortnite. So it's kind of like a
Yes.
If you win the match, we'll take a year
yeah.
off your
So it's like a
sentence.
special treat. So you're guaranteed at
Off
least
of your
500.
your
There you go.
400 year sentence.
It's 500 boxes in the resale room at least.
Exactly.
Maybe
See,
more.
it's a win-win.
Yeah. So can you write that contract up, and I'll sign that.
Yeah, I'm already
Yeah,
working
we'll make
on
sure to
it.
put a lot of extra things in there.
Yeah.
too.
Dr.
Don't worry about
Dr.
them.
Brick loves signing our contracts.
Don't bother reading it though.
Yeah. There's a lot of words, and not a lot of
Just
pictures.
sign it. Don't bother reading it.
Yeah.
I never read the contracts
Yeah.
I sign.
Yeah, exactly. That's too much work. You don't got time. You gotta go. You gotta
Yep.
go to work.
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotta go to
If
work.
I don't
What do you want me to
if
do?
I don't pack this next box, they're not gonna feed me. Send help, please.
Exactly.
We're not gonna feed
So
them.
yeah, I guess yeah. So that's
You're only 1,000 boxes away from a small Wendy's Frosty.
this is
You
terrible.
got it.
This is terrible.
That's the first tier on your
You didn't make
rewards.
Slugger pack boxes, did you?
Oh no, Slugger's too far
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Yeah, he's too far. We couldn't
that's the
reach him,
problem
so
is-
we just own him. We just own him
Yeah,
intellectually.
we would get stopped at the border,
Oh,
so
jeez.
we can only do it to Americans.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that's
I
why
had
he
a-
just makes videos for us.
Customs, Canadian customs is not that bad, folks. I'll tell you. They're they live up to their like, hey, we're pretty nice people status. So
Oh yeah, definitely compared to the
yeah,
American
customs
custom
is awful.
people.
So a little story. We went to Canada and we had a customs kerfuffle. And we had to visit the kind Canadian officers because we like. Essentially, what happened is I left my passport and wasn't like didn't have it and had to like make up some temporary documents to get across. So the Canadians, they held me. We hung out with the Canadians for like half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever. They let us through. The Americans decided they were going to quiz me on like a lot of my life details on the way back across the border at like 4 a.m. That was nice. They were like, "Hey, what's your license plate?" Like all this different stuff, and they kept like. So it'd be like every 2 questions, they'd be like, "What's your license plate?" Like keep coming back. It was weird, man. If you're traveling, remember your passport.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. That was a weird trip. I had a great time in Canada once I got there, but like getting there.
Yeah, where'd you go?
I went to Toronto. We went to Toronto for a few days.
Nice.
Oh, us too.
Oh,
Yeah, that's where I know we
Awful
talked about
city.
it a little bit in previous
Terrible. I
episodes.
hate it there. The
we
public
did
transport.
yeah.
They need to add more lanes, and they need to get those stupid.
Boy, did we like the public transport in Toronto.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Scary on the
Yeah,
subway on the street.
we have a fun. We'll tell you after.
Yeah,
We have a fun
please
story
do.
about the Toronto
but
public transit.
my experience with Toronto public transit was fine. If you're going up there for Torrent, you take the public transit instead of driving your car. Because man, dude, parking is ridiculous. Like you want to talk about expenses. Parking in the city for like 3 to 4 hours in different locations all day.
We walked everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, we were
Yeah.
lucky that our Airbnb had like free parking, so we were just in a parking garage the whole time.
Yeah.
So I did not move my car
Yep,
once.
me neither.
But I've done parking in Boston before, and it is terrible.
Yeah.
Like it is awful.
Yeah, we did parking.
It is so much money, especially overnight.
Yeah.
Overnight, it's like you're done.
Yeah, like Philly parking was super expensive. Just don't travel advice from your humble barkeep. Walk. Take the bus.
Walk there.
Yeah, take the bus, walk, take the tram. Like, do not drive in the city. It's terrible. Awful.
I don't even know why those people own cars.
I don't know.
Well, it's like in New York City. Most
Are you
people
really
don't-
getting
don't
there
need
faster?
to-
Yeah, you're not.
Don't need to own a car in a city that
No,
size.
you're not.
People really don't understand how big Toronto is. They like because it's like not an American
Oh,
city.
it's huge.
It's like if you're like comparing it, like it's not. I think if you're like looking at the North American cities, it's like number 6 or 7, somewhere on there. But it's like it is massive, like such a big city.
Yeah, Toronto is huge.
Especially because we live pretty close to it, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just that silly little border.
It was ridiculous, dude. Like you can walk for 5 hours and just not get anywhere. Like it's ridiculous how huge that place is. Like almost 3 million people live there in one city. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's like I think it's over 6 million. I think is like the metro area, so it's like all the surrounding areas.
Yeah,
too.
but city proper is
But-
too, I think.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think the only cities that are bigger than it are New York, L.A., Chicago, Mexico City,
Yep.
and maybe like Houston.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, you can-
I don't
you
know.
can-
I don't know.
I
what the
see
other ones
the
are, but like
atlas.
after that, it's like Toronto's right there.
Yeah. you can just.
It's like massive, and
It's a beautiful city.
it's a very nice
beautiful
city though.
And like, there's so much.
A lot
to
of
do.
green, a lot of green.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of
So
that.
I've never seen a city with so many trees in it.
The iconic Toronto weed smell. Man, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it there though. I would like. We've gone twice, and I would honestly go back for a third time. Did you go to Little Canada? Oh,
No.
Little Canada's
No,
great.
what's that?
It's it's a city. It's like a museum, right? But they made a miniature version of all of Canada. So like model train scale. So like people are about like a quarter-inch tall and whatever, but it's like everything. It's like Niagara Falls. It's, and you think like, oh, this is gonna be kind of lame. But they have like a day and night cycle and sounds, and like there's so many like weird jokes and stuff that they throw in. Like every area has monsters and stuff. It's just so like funny and super duper fun. So if you ever go,
Oh well, if
like really go
yeah,
there.
I guess if Permanent Detour goes back to Canada, we'll have to check that
on
out.
the part 2 trip, we'll have to go check it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, and it's great. Like there's internet and there's a bunch of bathrooms and everybody's really nice. And you know, I would say like when Permanent Detour goes back to find Slugger again, you know, go.
we continue our hunt.
Trekking through the woods looking for
Yeah,
him.
yeah, like get the salt shaker out. Like you better don't
So when
talk
Peter
don't
gets
talk
lost
about
in the
power
plane
miners,
crash.
Slugger. You know, don't talk.
It's
shit
fun.
about
I mean,
power miners.
I know we were talking about it before. We can kind of talk about. Obviously, since we live close to Toronto, we're from upstate New York, which is definitely a unique area of the country.
Oh yeah.
I remember I was talking to one of my friends. And he said when a friend came to visit from Texas, he's like, "Oh, bro," I'm like, "Oh, I'm near you, man." He goes, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "Where are you?" He goes, "I'm in New York City." It's like, bro, we're 6
Yeah, you're
hours
not
plus
even
away from
close.
New York City. And he goes, "Oh, I didn't realize New York was so big." It's like
Yep, it is.
because the city dominates anyone who doesn't live in like the Northeast or like
Yeah.
New York. They don't understand how big the state is. Or,
Yeah.
like, how many people live not in the city. Even though I think it's like probably like 55% of the population still in the city. Like that's still like 9 million people that live upstate. That's still a lot of people compared to some states, like like Wyoming, which isn't even real and has less than a million people.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
where.
right.
Yeah.
And Wyoming's bigger than New York and still doesn't have
Yeah.
any people. But
I mean, it's if you like look at New York on a map, man, it's huge.
it's not as tiny as
like it's a
people
huge
think.
state. It's like the size of Italy, bigger than the size of Italy,
Yeah.
right? The entire country.
Well, I think Italy might be a little bit bigger.
I
but
know. I don't think so.
Italy's also Italy's very long.
Yeah, but it's not. I think it's about the same size. Like to be honest with you,
As
as
what?
Italy,
I
and
think
New
I
York
missed
and
that.
Italy, I think they're about the same size.
No, Italy's about the same size as
Okay,
Florida, if
Florida,
you
I
don't
think.
count Sicily.
Florida, if you don't, yeah. Okay, so maybe a little different, but and it's huge.
See, New York is 54,000 square miles, while
Jeez.
Italy is 116.
Okay, so it's twice the size. Okay, but it's still like. Anyway, it's
Well, yeah, that's their whole
yeah,
country.
that's their entire
I
country.
think
either
Italy
way.
is very long.
Yeah.
Italy's kind of it's bigger than people think just of how long
Yeah.
it is.
But you know, like to speak to your point as a fellow person who lives or a Lego person who lives in upstate New York, gotta make that clear. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and just the disparity between like you go to the city and then you go upstate and like where upstate are you? Because you know you could be
That can mean anywhere.
yeah
It can mean so
yeah
many
it's
places.
like oh upstate you're like yeah anybody anywhere but you know Westchester County. And then from there, you're like, okay, are you on the Great Lakes? Are you in the Catskills? Are you on the Finger Lakes? It's like, oh, geez.
Yeah, Buffalo, Rochester,
yeah,
Syracuse, Albany, those are all
Binghamton,
upstate.
Utica.
Yep.
And all of those cities have like 1 million people
Yeah,
around them.
yeah. And they all have this similar, like, oh, our industry collapsed and left us Rust Belt.
Yeah. Well, that's just a classic.
Yeah,
that's
Rust
just
Belt.
a classic Rust
Yeah,
Belt.
yeah. But it is, like, it's neat. I do have to say.
We're so cool. We got the Erie Canal, and we got a lot of water. Erie Canal.
Yeah, that
Finger
totally
Lakes.
gets used all
yeah,
the time.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
big
know.
day at the Love Canal. You guys go down there? You swim in the Love Canal very often?
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
No, you're not
That
allowed
explains.
to swim
That
in the Erie
explains
Canal.
if you went swimming in the Love Canal. That explains why you are.
And
The
we
way
got
you
Lake
are.
Ontario, obviously,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
all the Finger
Yeah,
Lakes.
it's so clean.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
clean.
You know,
And then we have all the fun lakes in the
you
Adirondacks.
got,
and then,
yeah.
Lake Champlain.
You got Niagara over there. We all love Niagara, New York.
Yes, those stupid Canadians think they can. They think they're.
Oh
better.
yeah, Niagara, New York is a great place.
Raise your kids in
It's
Niagara,
just
New York.
casinos. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just casinos.
Yeah, you know.
The Canadian side is nicer, but
Oh, the Canadian side's so much nicer.
I think it's the stupid Canadians think they're better because they have a larger chunk of the falls.
Yeah.
But ours is more decrepit and.
Yeah.
Ours is much more decrepit and
Does your
therefore
side-
better.
Does our side of the falls have Rainforest Cafe?
Both do.
Yes, both have
do?
both have
sides
Rainforest
Really?
Cafe.
Yeah. There's actually.
But the Canadian
kinda
side
crazy.
is better.
Even though only the Canadian side has Margaritaville. Rip Jimmy
Yeah,
Buffett, I had to get that
We
out.
have to.
Rip-
Thank you
rip
for
Jimmy
working that
Buffett.
in. Like rip Jimmy.
I'm putting that in the description too.
Yeah, man.
Only because this is the day we learned that he died. Is when
Yeah.
we're recording this. So.
Yeah, it's a tough. It's kind of sucky, like. But I guess everybody meets their end, man. So, Jimmy Buffett, I hope you're out in the big Margaritaville in the sky.
He's on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, he's on the beach somewhere. Everybody, I think a baby born this day has inherited that beach bum spirit that we all love. That's-
Those are some nice words. Thank you for giving
You're
me.
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you for your
Please let me out of
Thank
this
you for that.
room, please. I'm
That's
sick-
so. He keeps.
So speaking of music,
Yeah.
He keeps thinking we're gonna let him out.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Speaking of music, Mr. Brick, I've got a little question
Okay,
about your
okay, yeah.
production. What's up with the music in your videos? I've noticed a few songs in there.
What's up with the music?
I've noticed a few creeping in.
Yeah, so I, I've been trying to stick with the tavern thing. Some videos have thematic music. I don't write any of my own music, but I do love using it a lot, and I like having. So let's there's a cover of the Hearthstone main theme that I really like. That's like done on the acoustic guitar. So I like to use that to open a lot of the videos. There is Lack of Vegetation is a song from Mobile Suit Gundam, and that is kind of that chill, like, closing song that I usually use. There's just songs that I'm like, yeah, this just fits. And I like having that cohesion, especially because, like, I've gone through such a big change with like the way that the videos are shot and like, oh, the new studio and everything like that. It's nice to have like those things where I'm like, yes, I know I want to put Lack of Vegetation at the end of this video, or like, oh, it's a Pirates video. Of course I'm going to throw like Sea Shanty 2 in there, and I try to keep it on the low, but obviously you two noticed, and it's kind of nice to be like, oh, if you're actually listening to this, like, just a little bit of that in the back, you get those feelings where you're like, okay, this is very familiar to me. So kind of, again, like, if you were listening earlier, goes back to creating that, like, feeling. And I think that the music is really important because other than that, like, it's not very clear. And then when I've got, like, the Hearthstone and different tavern music going, it's, like, better, more clear.
So when I watched the couple that I
Yeah.
noticed was you had I think in a Pirates video you had one of the more popular tunes from Sea of Thieves in there.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think that was just a
I
tune.
like-
I think CFTs took it as a normal pirate tune.
They might have.
It's
The one that really
uncopyrighted.
stood out to me though was the Terraria.
Oh,
music.
Terraria, yeah. So I do like to use and those videos I was kind of throwing whatever at the wall. So I love Terraria, and it was one of those things where I was like, oh, I think it was, what video was that in? You have to remind me.
Oh, I can't remember
Was it,
which
was
one.
I think
had
it was
the
building
Terraria
like
music.
a landscape or something, because I'm like, yeah, this is
Yeah. It was in one of your mock
yeah,
videos.
it was in
I
one
know
of
that much.
my ruined castle.
Like just in the time lapse of you building.
Yep.
Yeah, at the
the ruined
like the skeleton
keep.
fortress
Yeah, which man, I just bought
that you had been working
so many
on.
more skeletons for that. I've
I've
got so many more skeletons for that now. There was like a Monkey Kid polybag that came with 2 skeletons, so I bought like I think 4 of those. So I've got enough skeletons for a while.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so anything like that, I'm kind of just looking for what fits, and I was like, yeah, I'm feeling the Terraria, and I think there's like in some other videos there's some Minecraft stuff. Like I like the game OSTs a lot. I like I think if you watch the short, and this is kind of for you, AJ, if you watch the Samurai Swordsman short, the music when I'm talking about the figure is the main theme to Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo, which is a movie that I had to watch once for class and really loved the music, and I love, those samurai films. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna, work in this piece of music that I like, so that way if people recognize it, like, oh, you recognized it. Great. That's another thing where you're like, okay, this person likes, this thing or is familiar with this thing. As with the Sea of Thieves stuff, like, I just thought of it and was like, yeah, that is perfect for the Pirates video. Like, that fits so well. So there's yeah, I love that soundtrack too. Like,
it is. It's a good soundtrack, especially for pirate themed activities.
Yes.
Buccaneering and looting and pillaging and boarding type of shenanigans.
Hoarding. Yeah, definitely hoarding.
Yeah, definitely hoarding.
Like how we're hoarding.
Yes, please. I actually
I'll have to check out that samurai video. Though.
Yeah. Check that stuff out, because even if you like watch it and you recognize the song, like I feel like that gives you a little into the person who edits and writes the videos and does all the work for me. Like you have me captive, I have somebody else captive, and so they kind of like, we work together to choose.
Oh, and I have AJ captive.
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah. See, everybody has their own captive.
So someone else like does the editing for your videos?
Yeah, AJ's my little captive editor, and then you're our captive reseller.
No,
and then you got your own little captive editor.
Yeah, so I do the. I say that as like the character. Dr. Brick and Lantern has his own editor, which is the person who kind of transmits his thoughts.
I mean, I would consider like your conscious breaking off into two people as to having two separate people, like with me and Brennan.
Yeah.
So I think it counts.
I think it counts.
Yeah, it definitely
and I do have some people who help me every once in a while with things, particularly when it comes to scripts. Because I've really been like trying, and if you watch this video and then the next couple that I'm working on, like the scripts are a lot different than the older ones. Just because before I didn't really script out my thoughts as much, and I kind of had bullet points that I wanted to hit on, and now it's more so like I actually have I actually had to develop a script, which is weird because I did a lot of screenwriting, and so it's kind of odd to be like, oh, I don't need a script for this, and then to realize you actually do, you actually do need a script to time the jokes out and make the video funny and work in the visual gags, and like, a lot of the closeness of planning is new to me, and I enjoy that planning and prep work. But also it's like, okay, it takes more time to do that stuff, and that's kind of why I've taken on like, okay, I'm going to do 10 videos at a time, take a break for a while, and then come back and do 10 more, and kind of just like keep trying to come back in with new ideas and give myself some room to like just take a break. Which
I think for short form content, like scripts are always good. I think especially for what we do here, long form content, I think scripts are monogamous and kind of take away the natural flow of a conversation.
Yeah, that like shitty homemade made at home feel that we have.
Yeah, exactly. We like to feel all natural here.
If you like
I had one point about the music.
Yeah,
I was gonna say good music transcends everything, and no matter what, it will always enhance the video.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always.
Yep. I think it's so the one thing that I learned while I was studying film is that every decision is really intentional, and if you're making a decision, like if you're doing anything and you're making a decision unintentionally, at least for like a creative thing, you leave something on the table, I think, and whether that's obviously everybody has constraints, and that's cool and awesome, and we have to work within our constraints, but like, you got to be intentional with what you're doing and not just like, I'm just going to do this and that, and like, okay, why? You think through that, because it's your time, and ultimately it's like your representation of yourself. And that's the one thing with filmmaking now, is it's like, it doesn't feel like the decisions are kind of intentional. Going like quickly back to movies, but it's like, man, you just made that because you needed to, right? Like, you didn't do it because there's a reason for it. You just did it because it was quick and easy. So that's kind of my thought on it, as like, I need to be very intentional with how I present everything, because it's, you know, it's my expression. It's who I am. And it's what
There's one thing
AJ
I've
and Brendan
learned
make me
about
do.
filmmaking. It's that if someone asks you if that was intentional, you always just say yes.
Yeah. If it's like,
You're like, yep,
it's-
that's exactly what I meant. I'm so glad you picked up on that.
yeah, definitely.
Well, that's default answer.
yeah.
And now that we're on topic of movies,
Mhm.
I think I forgot who else I asked this
Mm-hmm.
to, but I want to hear your top 5 movies, and I want to hear why.
Oh,
you're
top 5. Okay. So I always say top 5 right now because they're always changing.
That's fine. Top 5 right now
Top 5
works.
right now. Knives Out. And they're in no particular order because I can't
Okay.
order them. Knives Out.
That's a good
Knives
movie.
Out
Knives
is a
Out
good
is
pick.
an
That's a good
incredible
one.
film. One of my favorites. The Cowboy Bebop movie, Knocking on Heaven's Door, I think it's called. Really great, like, again, 90-minute movie. 3 Outlaw Samurai is another amazing film. Another 90-minute movie. It's self-contained. It's very easy to watch and enjoy.
What was the samurai one
3
again?
Outlaw Samurai. It's I can't remember exactly who shot it now. It's not Kurosawa. It's one of the kind of progenitors. Hard Boiled by John Woo. I don't know if either of you have heard of that.
I haven't
Another,
heard of
like,
that one.
I don't know why I'm really fixating on, like, East Asian films. It's a Hong Kong action movie. It is like you've got to watch it. It's like John Wick, but John Wick in the way that it's choreographed. Like, it's choreographed. The choreography is great, but it's like the whole name of the game with these films, Hong Kong action films, is like destruction and slow motion and like papers flying everywhere. Like, the opening scene, they have like this shootout at a tea house, and the tea house was getting like demolished. So the filmmakers were able to like shatter glass and blow papers everywhere and like dive over things and like punch holes. It's crazy, and all of it's in like glorious slow motion. So do yourself a favor, watch that first scene. Like, it's just a tea house shootout. It goes on for like 5 straight minutes. It's incredible, and it's like the glory of filmmaking and everything that a movie could be in like 5 straight minutes. It's so good. It's so good. And then last,
I definitely want to check.
yeah,
that one
I
out
think
now.
you guys would love it. If you were talking about John Wick,
Yeah, we did an episode on John
yeah,
Wick.
and this is like, it's like John Wick, but just like 80s. I think it's 89. I think this came out.
It said 92.
92. So this film is like John Wick, but it was the movie that inspired the whole genre of like the whole action genre, the way things are going now. Like, it's super clear, it's super well shot. There's a lot of like overlapping edits and slow motion, and it's like it's such a good movie. Like, now that we're talking about it, now that I'm gushing about it, I'm probably gonna have to go back and watch it tonight because it's just so good. And anything that John Woo touched from like the late 80s, you know, The Killer, Hard Boiled, like all those movies, and even when he did Mission Impossible 2, like he just had such a style and did such an incredible job. So yeah, do yourself a favor. Anything by John Woo, go watch his older stuff. Hard Boiled is a great place to start, and you don't need any like context for them. You can just watch them. You just have to deal with subtitles, but we were talking about anime,
That's fine.
I can deal with subtitles.
so
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
I watch everything with subtitles.
oh yeah. So the last one is Moon Age Daydream. This came out last year. I don't know if either of you.
That's David Bowie,
Yes,
right?
that is the like David Bowie biopic.
That's yeah. I saw the trailers and stuff
Oh,
for
it
that.
was so good. So we saw it in IMAX, because you had to. Apparently, you were like supposed to. That was the best way to see it. So we saw it in IMAX, and they had the speakers dialed up to 11. So like, it was so loud, and it was coming from everywhere, and like, it's seriously just there's no rhyme or reason behind it. It's not even like this is David Bowie's life, and it goes from A to B to C to D, and then he died. It's kind of like just you're in the room with him. Like, everything said is audio of him. You know, all of the performances, like everything, it's just like you're being there with him, and he's taking you through his thoughts on like his life and love and art and like all of this stuff, and you're just being assaulted by this sensory experience. It's really incredible. And it's not something that, like, if you're looking for a biopic, it's not a biopic. It's something totally different. But really just incredible film. And I'm looking forward to getting it when it comes out on Criterion next month, I think. Next month. So.
No, that's definitely an interesting selection you have.
Yeah. You've got like, and then if we were doing more, I'd be like Spider-Verse is up there. You know, it's hard to choose because you just asked me right now, and it's like, you know, you come back to me in 10 minutes, and I'll have a different list.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
I actually, have you ever seen the movie Millennium Actress?
What's that?
Have you seen the movie Millennium Actress?
No, I haven't seen Millennium Actress.
That's something I watched in, I think it was my film history class.
Okay.
It's an old 90s
Yeah.
film. Very interesting premise, very good. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I think I've seen another movie by Satoshi Kon, Tokyo Godfathers.
Oh, I've heard
Yeah,
of that one.
that was fun. That was fun. It's a good Christmas movie. Like it's really, it's not like saccharine. It's actually pretty good. So yeah, but man, movies are crazy. Like ridiculous stuff. Yeah.
Was there any other topics you want to go over before we kind of wrap up?
I think if anything, you can always come back to the reseller room, and I'll be here. Like you can always come back and visit and tell me to pack more boxes. No, I just
yeah, okay.
I guess if we're kind of coming to the end, I just want to say to everybody listening, to my future self who's probably listening to this, to all the lovely fans who have a certain name I'm not allowed to tell you. Thanks for listening. Come visit us in Brick and Lantern. There's so many great things that I'm working on and looking forward to doing, and like Lego Universe streams and kind of all of that stuff. So come by and say hi and tell them that the resellers sent you.
our nice
yeah.
resident reseller. I did want to get your opinion on, because I'm actually building this set right now, right before we finish, the blacksmith, the Lego Ideas blacksmith.
Okay, the blacksmith, right, yes.
I don't know if you have any thoughts on that set.
Oh, man, I can't spoil my thoughts on that. I have had that in...
Oh, you're doing a video? All right, that's fair enough.
So I will tell you...
Just like a sentence, just one sentence thoughts on it then.
Incredible. In terms of Lego blacksmiths, like, amazing. Scale-wise and, like, build process, monotonous, but I think that it's great. And it has some interesting, I'll leave you with the crumb. It has some interesting callbacks to the very first Lego blacksmith. It has some interesting, it has a good relationship with that set, which is crazy because it's 5 times the size.
No, that's awesome. I'm enjoying building it.
I'm
enjoying it so far.
I am working on a blacksmith collection. Because believe it or not, there's only like 5 Lego blacksmith sets. So I have 3 of the 5. And then
there you go.
And then
that's
there's 2
good.
more.
Yeah, hey, that's
good.
Yeah,
it's really easy.
I believe in you.
It's really easy to
Next time you're on and making more sets for us, we'll hopefully have all 5.
Yes. Yeah, and then you can tell me to sell them, cuz there's one like blacksmith from I think 2001 or like 2002. That is expensive. But like the Ideas blacksmith, I've had that for 2 years and finally got to build it recently, so that's something I'm working on. Which is weird because I've been looking at it in the box. It was that in the Creator Castle, and I've been like, soon I'm gonna be able to put it together, and finally that day is here, and I've been enjoying it. It's great. And the Black Falcons, anything with the Black Falcon in it, like, instantly brings it up, like, 2 points if we were scoring it, so that helps.
Yeah, he was a big fan of that faction.
Yeah, everything, all of my stuff is, like, Black Falcons. I have some other stuff. I have a lot of Lion Knights, but, yeah, I don't know why, but those Black Falcons they're just my favorite.
They are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can't disagree. It's a pretty cool faction.
Yeah,
That's what I just said.
and they've been around for a long time.
That's why I said I can't disagree.
Oh, you can't disagree. I misheard you.
You, well,
okay.
while you guys fight about if the Black Falcons are cool or not, I'm just gonna like try to get out of this chair.
He's trying to sneak
Yeah.
out.
Leave. He's trying to
Yeah.
escape.
Well, yeah, we just like to thank you a lot for coming on. We really enjoyed
Yeah,
having you and talking with you, and you selling all of our sets.
Yeah,
for us. You know,
yeah.
we really appreciate all the hard work you put into it.
I'm confused on why we are trying to put this Lars Family Kitchen box in with the UCS Star Destroyer. Are you just giving these away now?
Oh, yeah, it's just a fun free
Okay,
gift.
okay.
Free.
Yeah. Yep.
Free, except
Free
we're-
gift with purchase.
except we'll send you a second bill after
Yeah,
you
yeah,
buy it.
yeah. It's
You
Charging
get a
you for
second.
I
bill.
just thought you didn't want them anymore. You've got like a whole stack of them over here.
Yeah, no, don't worry.
Okay,
Don't worry.
okay.
Just forget you saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but-
Thank you guys. It was
I will
great.
definitely be linking Bricks and Lanterns channel down in the description. Go check them out. You know,
Yeah,
make some really cool Lego content over there. Definitely something different. You know,
working on it.
it's really cool to see. Again, I like seeing all these other themes get some attention when they normally don't. Honestly, in the grand scheme of the Lego
Yeah,
creator space, they just don't get the attention
I
they
guess
deserve.
one
So
one
definitely go check his channel out.
And one thing that's going to be cool that's coming up. Really short-lived theme. The first Ninja theme. I've got some sets from Ninja, so I'm going to be doing it.
Oh,
Ninja.
nice.
Sounds awesome.
I've
Yeah.
heard of that
yeah,
theme, but I
it's,
haven't actually seen any of this.
1998. 1998. Okay. So yeah, that's exciting.
Have any ending thoughts, Brendan?
Ending thoughts for me. Thank you for coming on, Brick and Lantern. Goodbye,
Thank you, Dr. Brickman.
Dr. Brick. Good. Final thoughts. It was a good episode, guys.
Yeah,
Good job, gang.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we did it. Everyone, round of applause.
Round of applause, everyone.
We've done
it.
AJ's
All right.
the only one that clapped.
Yeah, just me. But I'm the only person here, so
He's the only one in the room. It doesn't matter.
yeah. Well, I'm sure you know we have a special tradition here on the podcast that we like to do, and that
Oh,
the
here
guest,
it comes.
The guest gets the final word, but it's a single word, so there's a lot of pressure and build up into what you're gonna say, and we always put you on the spot.
Yeah.
So again, thank you everyone for listening who made it this far. We really appreciate it. You know, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Go check
All right,
out Brick and Lantern, and
Brick and Lantern, take it away with the last word.
there you go.
Power miners.